it's always good to win, and it's fun to win, and then it's also it's definitely exciting to win when you win the championship. So, it's great to. It was a great team win for us, and we're looking forward to playing again. But it was a great effort. Defensively played well down the stretch, and they did some things to us offensively, and the head coach is great offensive mind. So he has a few wrinkles up their sleeve that we had to. It took us a while to get adjusted to, and then once we got it honed in, we played a lot better on defense, especially when the play was needed to be made. Offensively, we moved the ball and did some things. We turned it over a little bit too much for my liking and our liking. And special teams wise, again, another big play, big punt, block that set us up for a score, good return early. And then, and then we can do a little bit better job at managing the game. That's on me down the stretch by taking a knee instead of knowing that they had 2 timeouts left and being able to, they had a couple stops. We should have been able to run out the clock toward the end there. So I guess we just found a way to make it interesting. So, but at the end of the day, you like to be on this side of it with a win.
First question goes to IC Morrell. IC, unmute yourself.
Coach Campbell, this is the first game that you guys have played where it was really an offensive race all the way through. I mean, from start to finish. Just talk about the pace of this game. And really, what did you have to do defensively to try to solve, how number 14 was distributing the ball? I mean, he was getting it to his running back out in the flats if he wasn't, taking it straight to the top.
Well, they found a weakness in us. They found a weak spot, and that was dumbing it off to the back. A lot of times when you're a pressure team, that's your man beater. That's the guy who's usually, not accounted for. And then you have to show some discipline when trying to make the adjustment to account for him, So, but we knew, in the back of my mind, I knew that they can score some points. They hadn't really shown in the first couple of games, but, it's really, I thought it was going to get to a point where they were going to, tap out as far as hitting the ceiling is where they were going to score at. And really, I thought it was going to be around that 21, 22 point mark. And for us to get the lead and then be able to keep it. So, but, we were still preparing, for, possible shootout just because the guy's a really, really good football coach. And but we made the adjustment and did well.
You guys have prided yourself on a turnover margin all season long, but this time I think it was you guys got 5 turnovers in your benefit and then 4 against Prairie View. I mean, does that amaze you just how you guys have been able to capitalize off turnovers that way? And then what do you do to clean up the turnovers that you guys committed?
Well, we made a point. I thought we made a point of emphasis of it last 2 weeks, as far as at practice. And, we did it during the week off. That was one of the areas of concern, with the fumbles, and then we did it this week doing preparation. Only thing you can do is continue to rep it and continue to point out why those things are happening. So, but as long as we came out on the plus side of the turnover margin, typically you have a chance to win the game, and it showed today that we did win the game.
Question now from James Hill.
Coach, congratulations on that victory and your season so far. Can you talk about today's game, in particular the second quarter? And again, you guys are working hard and it's paying off, and you guys are on your way to the SWAC championship game.
Well, thank you. Is for some reason, we chart the game and said, here are the areas that we got to be really good at, and we call it there's some hidden areas in each game that probably the untrained eye or just the average fan doesn't know that comes into the game, in the play. And it's an area within that second quarter that you really have to be good at. And we work at it, we talk about it. And there's some other areas within the game that you have to be good at. Everybody always know about the 2-minute drill. But there's some other areas before you even get to the 2-minute drill, and or the 4-minute drill. When you're ahead by certain things. But it's some areas that we kind of focus on, and But for us, we still we started out fast, and then we had a fumble. still moving the ball again. And but it's still some things that we could have been a lot better at and a lot crisper at, and some areas that we need to clean up. And really, as a head coach, I need to do a bit better job at finishing the game.
To be able to, get the job done, so to speak, and find yourself taking the program where you want it to be, and that's in the SWAC championship and winning. Just talk a little bit about that.
Well, that's all we talk about every day. I mean, we talk about winning, and that's the only conversation we're allowed to have is winning, and then how to win, but those are the conversations we have all the time. And you got to point out, we got various things around here now that shows you what winners do and what winners look like. And so that's what we're about, winning. And that's what we're going to be about from here on out.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Question now from Dr. J. Kenyala-Cavill.
Thank you, Coach. First, let me say congratulations on winning the Western Division. Now you're trying to sew up and get home field advantage. Well done. Tough in the spring. But I wanted to ask you about a couple of key plays. First, I'm going to go to the offense. Everybody loves offense. 4th and 2 late in the game. You decided to go for it. At the Moxie play, obviously you have confidence in your offense, but tell us a little bit about the thought process of going into it and ultimately why you decided to make the call in the play.
Because we play good defense. Our defense is pretty good, and sometimes you really, if you go back and look at our games, when people score, it's usually on a broken play here and there or a scramble play like they scored earlier late in the game. So those are the, I always feel that if we give our defense the big field, it's tough for a team to go to run they need to use 10 plays. They got to be perfect on 10 plays to score the football on you, and that's just tough on the offense. But we want to stay aggressive, and I think that's kind of my personality. And although I'm kind of loose around the office, but once we get on the field, I'm charged up and locked in. And I think that that's the mentality that with the people I have around us, that we have around us are aggressive-minded folks, and we just don't want to sit back. We want to be dictators, and we want to dictate what we do. So, 4th down, that's just normal offense for us, so it just depends on where the field is, where the ball is on the field.
Thank you, Coach. Certainly paid off. Talking about the defense, you lead me into my second question. Not only did the defense play well all game, and people may see the score and think differently, but in terms of what you were able to do in the red zone, you stopped Prairie View in terms of some red zone plays, in terms of what you did, turnovers, key block punt. Talk about some of the defensive plays, particularly in the red zone, and how important that was for your team.
Well, we started going back. Look at some point, we was like, well, here go the old UAPB. We were bending, then we started to tighten up toward once they got closer. So, but we just had to figure some things out, and there's only so much you can do when you get down in the red zone. So I guess we don't want to get people to field position in the red zone, but I guess we might have to start putting the ball down there and so to say, hey, we don't need to be stingy in that area. But no, our guys play well on defense, and we feel comfortable, but I feel great about those guys. And I always tell them that, we need to be able to win a game 2-0, and when I expect them guys to win the game. So it was never a panic or anything like that. We just, you figure out what they did to get the ball down in that area, and they were dumping the ball off to the running back. And he kind of hurt us. He might have been their leading receiver. So, but you can only still, once you get down in an area, you can only do so much. And we had a great red zone plan. And in our case, we call it the gold zone.
I like it, Coach. And obviously, I know the focus is on your team. You clinched the Western Division. There's a chance that you have another game scheduled, but obviously COVID-19, so there's a question whether it's going to be played. And then there's a little old game over there in Birmingham called the Magic City Classic, and they're playing, which will lock up the East Division. Do you just relax a little bit, or do you go and watch and see what's going over there to see potentially who may represent the East in terms of looking for that matchup? How far do you get ahead of starting creating your matchups in terms of that game?
Well, right now, see, I'm a huge sports fan, so I'll watch the game as a fan, and I'll watch it as a fan. And, I'm a longtime friend of Coach Hill Ely, over at Alabama State. So not saying I'm rooting for him, but he did get a text from me this week, and so and he texts back as well. So we're good friends, but I know he's friends with the coach at Alabama A&M. So it's and that's a good game. That's a fun game to watch. And I even took a peek before kickoff. Well, not before pregame warm up. I took a peek being a fan took a peek at the Bayou Classic. To me, this was a great weekend for the SWAC. And this is a really fun conference and a great conference, and it's been that way for a long time.
Thank you for sharing that insight, and appreciate hearing from you. And again, congratulations on sewing up the Western Division. Well done this spring. Thank you for your time, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions from our media for head coach Doc Gamble?
Yeah, I got one. Sully here at Little Channel 7. First of all, it's no excuse for us not giving you great coverage this week. And I want to congratulate you. And hey, talk about your quarterback, Skylar Perry, and how he's developed, and it just leads you to points. Not beyond the numbers, just leads you to points.
He's a good one. He's a good one, and he's the same guy day in and day out. I mean, he's a guy that we've coached hard since he's gotten here, and he responded. I mean, he's a mentally tough dude, and he's a physically tough guy. And he's grown. He was thrown into the fire it's his freshman year due to injuries to another guy, but he's taking the Bulls by horn, and he's leading us right now. So he'll continue to do that. That's just who he is. And since he's been here, he's been a guy that breaks down the team, and he gets in the middle of the huddle and he says what he has to say, and he gets the team going every single day. But more so than anything, he's a leader by example. Before he says a word to anybody, so I appreciate him all the time. Even though he can give me a few gray hairs at times, but that lets me know he's growing, and he's starting to take some risk as a player, but which are good risk. And but he's a. I mean, I can go on and on. He's a great football mind. He comes from a big time high school football program out of New Orleans and Edna Carr. He's a former high school state champion. And he's been a winner since he's been here with us.
Did you guys have any celebration in the locker room? Are you holding off on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. We did. They kind of doused me with water. They missed me on the field, so I got away from them on the field, but I couldn't get away from them in the locker room. They had all the water bottles. But we celebrated. And we'll enjoy this one here and enjoy the night, and then start to prepare for the next game.
All right. Congrats. We're proud of the job you're doing.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Golden Lion head football coach Doc Gamble? Well, Doc, before we let you go, we've kind of started a little bit of a tradition, and we're honored to be joined by UAPB Chancellor, Dr. Lawrence Alexander.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, indeed. We're very, very excited to be on. I must confess, I don't have my Lion background, so now there we go.
There it is.
Now I feel better. Got to set the right tone. But thank you for bringing me on today. And I just want to come on and just say congratulations to our head football coach, Doc Campbell, and to the entire Golden Lion football team for bringing smiles to the faces of Golden Lion Nation. Done a marvelous job. Congratulations on winning the Western Division. And I said on our last call, I said, Coach, can you just bring it home? Bring home the victory. And by golly, you did it. You did it in exemplary fashion, offense, defense, special teams. Thank you, Coach, and congratulations.
All right, well, thank you. We thank you. And like I always said, I don't know if I'm a great listener. So, and I'm real good with one-on-one. And I don't forget a conversation. Now, he's the only guy that has ever said, "Hey, how good are we going to be on defense?" And I told him we're going to be very good. We're going to be better than we've ever been. So, and we have been. So, but we thank you. We thank you a whole bunch from all of us.
All right, Coach Gamble, thank you for joining us again. Congratulations.